Hi, I'm Tim Dreiling. I'm with Cabinet Systems, a division of Higgins Group, and we're here today to show you how to install our new line of luxury cabinets for garages. So the first thing we're going to do after we get all the cabinets in, we're going to have a couple cleats. The cleat you're going to have to cut down depending on the size of the cabinet. So if you have 8 foot of cabinet, you'll want to cut it down 2 to 3 inches less than that. And every stick will come in at 96 inches. First thing we're going to do is Bodie's going to go ahead and make a measurement of 79 inches. That's going to be to the top of your cleat. And from there we'll level it and then go ahead and fasten it to the wall. In all your install kits, you will actually have this screw here. This is what we will screw the cleat to. It is also the one that you will screw the cabinet to the cleat. Now, what Bodie has done that you haven't seen is he's already marked out where the studs are, so it's good to have a stud finder. For every stud, you want to put at least 2 screws in line. The cabinets will always come pre-wrapped like this. They will have corner guards. Always to make sure that as you're offloading these cabinets, check for any kind of damage. All these cabinets will be locked. In most cases, we'll have a bag of keys in one of the drawer cabinets. Grab one of the keys, open up the cabinet, and just go ahead and pop these loose. Pull your finger forward and it pops right off. On the tall cabinets, you're always going to have 4 hinges. So the best thing to do is take from the bottom and work your way up. One of the things about the tall cabinets, they are pretty heavy. So we highly recommend that it takes 2 people. Set it on the back side gently and then bring it down. This is our leg. It is adjustable, as you can see. You can move it back and forth. You have about 3/4 of an inch to go down and 3/4 of an inch to go up. One thing you will notice that it actually has a little tab right there that's already preset. So once we insert it onto the bottom of the cabinet in the plinth, it will be exactly 4 inches off the ground. So as you can see, just going like that, pop it until it's flush. So remember, from here to here is 4 inches. So once we sit this up, it'll be exact height of where the cleat needs to set on. Once we are lifting this cabinet, make sure we lift it straight up and tilt it without hitting the back of the leg to the floor. This is our cleat. This is where our plywood structure is going to actually sit up on this. Once we get it up there, we can slide it back and forth a little bit. What we've done is we've already figured out where our edge of our cabinet needs to go, and we put a little tick mark. We're going to set it, get it pretty close, and then go ahead and fasten it. Over here is an open, and that's where we'll be able to connect another cabinet. Again, we're going to just double check that we are level. You can see that the level's just a smudge off. We'll go ahead and bring those feet up just a little bit and let it sit fully on the cleat. What we have here is an adjustment tool for the feet. You can actually finger tighten this or go ahead and connect it on, and you can see you can adjust it back and forth. Okay, one of the things that how you attach this is we'll put 2 screws in a cabinet. Remember, you're going to be attaching it to the cleat. You want to put it right at 7 inches. Obviously this is 3/4, so on the inside you'll do 6 1/4 inches on the inside and make your mark. And she's level. Now for our bottom cleat, you'll want to measure from the very top of the cleat down 49.5 inches, and that will be the top of your bottom cleat. Again, 2 screws wherever you got a stud. The next steps after we got both cleats, we'll start hanging all the uppers. I'm going to show you one other thing that we need to do. We staple a couple blocks on the upper part of the cabinet, and you'll want to knock those off with a hammer. Once we pop those off, this is part of the top of the cabinet. Make sure that you have an open end on both sides, and we just hang it up on the cleat. Let it sit down, slide it to the edge. Your registration should be perfect. We're going to go ahead and hang up the rest of the uppers. What we want to do, hide the fastener, the screw, as much as we can. What we like to do is go ahead and pre-drill little holes right here, because once you put your hinge back on with your door, it will cover that screw, and then you'll never see it. These are the screws that we use. They're 1 1/4 inset screws. That's about all you need. Make sure this is up against the wall. It's registered. Trigger it. It's the best way to fasten it tight. One thing you want to look at is make sure that this is registered flush and it's flush to the face. We like to put a couple clamps here. Again, we'll want to measure down 6 1/4 inches so we make sure that we actually hit the cleat 2 inches over on all of them. Once we have those all marked, we'll go ahead and just screw all the way down. Right there. All right, now on to the bottom. Make sure you hit your registration points, pop in. Okay, we'll go ahead and get all of them put together. Again, we'll repeat like we did the uppers. Now I want to show you a little trick here. As you can see, because the wall is going like this, you have a little bit of a gap. I went ahead and fastened a screw right here. We'll want to loosen that back up. Take one of your clamps. There we go, just like that. Tighten it. We'll put another screw in the back side up underneath where you can't really see. Before we screw this one on, we'll go ahead and screw it right here. That way your pinch point is actually pushing and keeping this closed. So we'll do this one first. Once we get all the cabinets connected, we just want to make sure that the front ones are snug. We got all the cabinets put together. We're going to want to put our adjustable shelf pins on. That's a preference of wherever you want to do it. Within the cabinet, we have several different holes. You just need to match each side. We'll want to wipe it out. And we also recommend get a little shop vac and vacuum out all the little particles. For your upper cabinets, you will actually have 2 shelves. On your tall cabinets, there will be provided 5 shelves total. And then your lowers, you will have 2 shelves as well. We'll just go ahead and put the shelf in. Slide it in like that. It's going to sit back just a little bit. As you can see, it's a little easier to put those in without the doors. When you receive all your cabinets, you're going to receive a box that has a countertop. Just be very careful not to dig too deep into the cardboard when you're cutting. You will notice that one side is a little bit rough. That is going to be the bottom side. Slide it on. Just make sure that your edges are nice and smooth. It should be very, very close to being even right here. You will have an 1.5-inch pan head screw that you will have in your install kit. What these are for is to fasten the countertop. What we recommend is just put 1 screw in the front and 1 in the back per cabinet. The way we recommend hanging the doors is always start from the top down to the bottom. You'll see that there's a little bit of a notch. Make sure that that notch connects into the bar. Always keep your door hinge open like that. And you can see how it kind of grabs. Then it's literally just push the button. Same thing right here. On these smaller doors, what we have is we have a soft close system on both hinges. This little tab here, we'll want to shut one of them off. And the reason why, if you can see that it will take quite a while to shut. We can take one of those off by simply pressing forward. You will hear a little bit of clicking. That means it's disengaged. You can turn both of them off if you don't want the soft close on. One thing to note is that the lock will always be on the right side of the door. On these bigger doors, again, it's 4 hinges. Then we'll start from the very top and move our way down. The key to this is to use your foot down below to kind of guide it. Make sure that you start your registration and they're all fairly close to where they're going to clip. There we go. So for a reminder of which way in order the drawer fronts go, we have the 3-dot system. Since it's a 3-drawer, that means that that will be the very bottom. This is number 2. Again, you can see it's got the 2 dots. And then your number 1 drawer. Again, you have a 1 dot. Okay, from here, what we like to do is make sure that everything's adjusted. You should have roughly 1/8 of an inch in between your 2 doors. You have a little bit of a gap. We'll just grab one of our screwdrivers here, just a medium-sized Phillips. The nice thing about the Blum hinge is you have a couple actually 3 options here. You have this adjustable screw here, here, and then there's one right here as well. What this one does at the very front moves the door when it's closed like this. This one will move it in and out, and then this screw right here will actually move the door up and down. The reveal lines actually look pretty good on this set. Right here on this Bloom slide, there's an adjustment right here. You take your Phillips and you can move it back and forth. And all that does is move this like this, back and forth. Okay, the last part, obviously we'll wipe these down and then put the handles on. In each one of them you will have 4 screws. You have some longer ones and then shorter ones. Always use the short ones. Get it started with your fingers, make sure it's catching. Again, always use a Phillips screwdriver. Do not use a drill or an impact. I want to talk to you a little bit about this cart that we have here today. It's called Ultimate Tool Systems. It's a cart system that has just about everything that you need on it. It has drills, screwdrivers, some really good drill bits, paddle bits, as you can see. It's a pretty sweet little system. We have several of them. As you can see, this is what it should look like. Everything has its lines look good, everything's wiped down, handles are on, countertops on and fastened, and this is the product. I want to thank you for joining us today on this install video.